Recording.
Say good evening, everyone. Welcome to Avini Vibes. And just FYI, we are recording this call tonight. And it is, well, I should say it is September 7th. And in New York, it's not a beautiful day, thunder and lightning. So big storms going on. So just FYI, if I fall off, that's why. I have a co-host with me tonight. This is Boo. Boo doesn't want, she's having a little bit of a panic attack. She does not like thunder and lightning. So she's going to be helping me tonight. So welcome everyone. And I was just sharing, if you just jumped on, what a great opportunity it is. I had the opportunity to be around the Budweiser horses today while they were getting ready at the Goshen Historic Track, up close and comfy while they were braiding, while they were getting ready to come out on the track. They did a demonstration for the entire community to see how the horses are hitched, but absolutely magnificent. And it reminded me of the Avini team. I want to share that with you. That's what I thought. I have a picture of all their butts actually in a row as they brought them along, 8 horses. You know, they're 2,000 pounds apiece, but it's really about the power of a team is my point. The power of a team. We're a team, and it's great that everybody pulls their own load and is here to share. So with that, again, if you're a guest, welcome to the call. If you're a distributor, welcome. And we're grateful always to be here with you on Thursday nights. Tonight, I'd just like to, again, I'm not sure how long this is going to last because of the weather for me, but feel free, Carol and Chip, and y'all can, Kyle, Eddie, all of you can jump in. But I would like to introduce you to somebody that's very special, and I'm very excited to have her on our team. And this is Susanne Morrone. She's a very, very well-known author in the health and wellness field for over 30 years. She's been practicing and well respected in this field of health and wellness. As she said to me today, we chatted something about take a pill, not take a pill, something along those lines. But Susanne is just the kindest person I know. And Susanne, with that, I just wanted to offer you the opportunity to share your testimonial, if you would, and just share a little bit about how you got involved with Avini and whatever else you'd like to share. So welcome, Susanne.
Thank you so much, Christine. It's a pleasure to be here and to enjoy the camaraderie of everyone who is attending. Just a little about my background. I first spent a decade in the medical field in administrative positions, and that left many questions on my mind as I was observing surgeries and seeing the outcomes of things. And the 38 plus years in natural health, holistic nutrition as a coach, educator, consultant, and also I spent that time 11 years as a licensed massage therapist, which was very fulfilling as well. You mentioned about my writing. The first book I wrote in 2003, I wanted, whether a person was 9 years old reading it or 90 years old, that they could understand the beauty of health and the fact that we need to take personal responsibility. So I called it the best little health book ever, The Simple Whys and Hows of Feeling Your Best Each Day. So when we keep beautiful truth and wisdom simple, then we have people relating to us and also motivated to move forward. The and hows become clear when we peer into the amazing design of the human body. We often know that we're responsible to a great degree for our health because every day we impact ourselves positively or negatively by our choices, habits, exposures, and so on. Sharing and assisting with thousands of people over the years, I've seen many break the desire to give intelligent support to their health and then achieve outcomes beyond what they even had hoped for. As a matter of fact, I'll share this with you. A few years ago, a lady came in where I was working, and she could hardly put one foot in front of another. So as she approached me, she looked washed out, hoping possibly for anything that could make a difference. And how may I help you? She said, I'm a caregiver for my elderly parents. I'm so spent, you have no idea. I have a daughter in college, very stressed out, and numerous other concerns for people in her life. So I questioned her, well, again, how can I help you? She says, what is all this? Can you tell me how to have energy to be strong and stay the course? And can you tell me this simply? I said, okay, how about just 3 words? Nourish, you flourish. She looked at me and kind of giggled. She said, I understand that. What else can you tell me? I said, let's add 3 more words. Nourish, you flourish. Don't, you won't. So she said, is there anything else? I said, layer. We must always look at the ways we function and see where we need improvement. So we all pretty well know physically we have to eat, drink water, breathe fresh air, get good sleep, exercise, and so on. But how much do we think about what we aren't about, dwelling upon, and sounding down into our hearts? This is going to be positive, helping us to feel great, or negative, tearing us down. I said to this lady, I have to say to you that the loving care you're giving your parents is beautiful. And in the future, you will be glad you did, treasuring those memories of giving all you could. So, with that, the conversation changed. Her outlook of complete fatigue and downtrodden changed to smiling, and she was ready to engage in changing for the better, whatever that would involve. And I'm happy she did. So, really made a difference in her life. So, we need to question and seek reliable, proven answers. I have to say for myself, health became my quest at a very young age. I knew there had to be a better way of addressing health to experience better results than what I was dealing with. So, just a quick story. At 3.5, I'm in the exam room. I'm with my mom and dad and doctor. And dad said, what can we expect from Suzanne's condition? The doctor looked at me and said, she will have this the rest of her life, but we'll manage it. Now, that was a major shock hearing those words. I'm thinking, the rest of her life, the rest of my life, he doesn't know. I'm not even 4 yet.
Wow.
So rather than accepting mentally and emotionally this sentence of sickness, I said, there has to be a better way, and I'm going to find it somehow. So that's it takes. We have to really depend to take care of our health as best we can. Assisting thousands of people over the decades, I have seen this hold true. What health is and what requires on our part. And when we learn that, we reflect upon it, we perceive the wisdom in it and implement that in our life, we now achieve outcomes beyond what we really thought was possible. The one important health requirement that I want to talk about naturally, because this is Avini, are toxins. They're major cause of health deterioration, especially if they're left unaddressed. Have to become familiar with the categories of toxins and what they cause. We're living in a time where toxins are in abundance, and in many places that consider critical mass. This can be ocean pollution. How about all the wildfires that were taking place? Toxic gases that people were breathing in. So toxin awareness is important. People don't really think about getting exposures to things that are.
Suzanne, is there, could you go ahead and take yourself off camera and see if we'll have a better connection with you? We're getting an interruption quite a bit, and I just can just see if it makes a difference. Yeah, a lot of times it makes a difference because your internet gets stronger. You're not using so many resources. Try it now.
Okay.
I can take you off camera. Hold on one second. Let me just take you off camera, okay? All right, hold on. I'm gonna just remove you take you off the camera if I can find it here. I'm not being able to take you off camera. I'm not sure why. It's not. Oh, stop video. There it is. There you go. Now try. Now try. Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to give you some examples, because people do not realize that at the root of their problem, they get a named disease, but how many toxins are they dealing with? I'll give you an example of that disconnect. A woman came in and she walked up to me and showed me her wrist, and it looked like she had two small volcanoes, these lumps on her wrist. She said her doctor was going to be testing her for lupus, but in the meantime wondered if there were any vitamins or anything that she could take that might help. So I asked, when did these lumps on your wrist come about? Her answer was, well, about 3 weeks ago. And I said, how were you feeling before that? Were you feeling sick or ill? She says, no. And I said, what type of work do you do? She said she cleans offices and has been doing that for several years. So I said, are there any new products that might have impacted you? She said, what do you mean? I said, something that you use that would be causing a problem. She said, I can't think of any. So we continued in a conversation, and I said, let me ask again. Anything out of the ordinary happen on the job with what you were using? All of a sudden, her face turned red, then white. She says, oh my goodness, I forgot. I was cleaning a toilet, ran out of my usual toilet bowl cleaner, so I added some ammonia, which mixed with that, and I guess I passed out for a few minutes. I forgot about that. And I said, these lumps on your wrist, when did they happen? She said, a day or two later.
Mm.
So I talked about how mixing bleach and ammonia produces toxic gases called chloramines and can be fatal.
Mm.
So I said, please be sure to inform your doctor of what happened, because that is important. But you see the disconnect. People don't think that those things are a problem. Another example, a relative of mine was raking leaves around his pond in the fall. Suddenly, he fell to his knees, dizzy and disoriented. Finally, he was able to get up and walked difficultly to the house and told his wife what had happened. So they both figured it was probably heat stroke and he was just doing too much work. But anyway, when I contacted them and they told me what had happened, I said, what in the environment there might have caused a problem for you? Think back. And he said, well, come to think of it, there was some smoke coming down through the trees to where I was, and I probably was breathing that in. Upon investigating, I found out this was a swimming pool company, and one of the new employees had taken a bunch of trash out to this open brick area where they would burn trash, and he had thrown in empty plastic bottles of chlorine and muriatic acid.
Mm.
So that toxic smoke was the culprit. So these are things that happen in everyday life, and people don't think about those things being a potential problem.
Wow.
So we say to be forewarned is to be forearmed. So we all have to think what is in the products we buy, the chemicals in the food we eat, and from many other sources. We have to think about the necessity of assisting the body with detoxification. So you all know we have a liver and we have lungs and we have kidneys and all of these that take part in detoxing. But if you start to think of how many years you've been on the planet and how much you might have been exposed to throughout those years for occupations, I remember a man who came in and where I was working and just sat on the chair and looked so sad. And I said, what's going on with you? He says, I've had 3 surgeries for my spine. And the last surgery, they used screws and said, this is the last time we can do this. We can't connect your spine anymore. And I said, what type of work have you done? He says, oh, for 43 years, I've owned a dry cleaning establishment. And I said, you never shared that with anyone? I said, the chemicals, did you do them yourself? He said, oh, yes. And all of a sudden the light came on. He said, oh my God, I never, ever connected that with my problem of the deterioration of the bones. So I am so pleased to be a part of Avini and to hear everyone's uh, progress and excitement, because we have wonderful products. Cell Defender for heavy metals, chemicals, all sorts of toxins. And it's a no-brainer because it's perfectly safe and very effective and so easy to use. So I just wanted to share that, and if anyone has a question or any comments to make, I'd be happy to be a part of that.
Thank you. Really, really great. Thank you. I think Christine left us because she's in a storm right now. So does anybody have any questions for Susanne, or does anybody have anything they want to share? I have something I want to share, but I want somebody else to come share first. If you have any questions. Anything?
I do, Carol.
Okay, go for
Yeah,
it.
I just wanted to say that Suzanne was very instrumental in helping me in October 2021. A lot of you guys know my story, but maybe Clarence doesn't. Hey, Clarence. And I was at Mayo and given a death sentence with cirrhosis. Well, I know I shouldn't say the disease, but it is, yeah. And they said liver transplant or nothing. And I said, okay. And it really kind of made me mad because I knew that I could help in my body take care of this. So the first call I made was to Suzanne. This is way before Avini because I trusted her. And I said, what do I do? Can I reverse this? And she said, yep. Are you willing to do the work? And I said, yes. And I said, just lay the roadmap out for me. And I knew I had to get stuff out of my body that wasn't supposed to be there. So she's the one that put me on the road to getting my health back. And now, flip it around, I call her about Avini. And the fact that she signed up with Avini to be on board with what we do is huge because she's an international best-selling author about detoxification of the body. And I'm honored that she's involved with what we're doing. And so I just want to thank you again, Suzanne. I know I tell you that all the time, but I do appreciate you.
Really great.
Thank you. Thank you for doing the work and doing all that you are doing now to help so many people.
Well, I didn't have any choice. I had to do the work. That was no option there. But thank you for being there for me. And so, guys, she knows what she's doing. When she told me something to do, I just did it. And the cell defender that she talked about is, look at WHO says that 100% basically of all disease comes from environmental toxins and heavy metals. And so we've got a whole gamut that is designed to do exactly that, is to attack and get rid of these guys so that our body is now clean and able to function the way that it's supposed to and the way that God made it to do it.
And Ed, you look very healthy. I saw you in person at my birthday party. You look really healthy and fit again. So
A lot of makeup and yeah.
no, but really congrats, really. And
Well,
thank you, Suzanne, for supporting him to get back to his house. We need him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh,
wonderful.
I'll share something quickly that I wasn't going to go into, but why not? I had been exposed when I was working as a wellness counselor for a private school, and the owner came in and sprayed pesticides for ants that he had seen in the room across from my office. And I got up and shut the door, and he, of course, left. And I thought, I'm going to finish my work, and then when I go home, I'll take a lot of things. Well, what I didn't realize is that the product that was used was actually banned by the federal government because of the damage that it had done. And within a week, I was sweating profusely, passing out, and then staying unconscious off and on. So I was taken to the emergency room by a friend, and the two doctors were asking questions how this happened. And I came to hearing them ask, and I said it was a pesticide, and they said, no, you breathe that in, you breathe it out. Well, we don't have stainless steel lungs, folks. And it took me a while to really come back to full functioning, several years. But when I saw the pulmonary specialist, I had to see a number of doctors. He was talking to his assistant, looking at my x-rays, and he said, look at her lungs. He says, they're 3/4 burnt. She should be dead. Why isn't she dead? And I'm in the next room hearing this. And I thought, well, I'm not, and I'm going to get well. So we have to believe and know the incredible human body's capacity to heal. It's within. And when we support that, we start to see major changes to where we need to be.
Yep, absolutely. Thank you so much, Susanne, for being our guest tonight.
Oh, my pleasure.
Absolutely. Does anybody have any questions for Susanne before some other people might want to share some awesome things? Anybody? No one? Okay. Yeah, Joe, can you unmute? I'll prompt you here. Hold on. There you go. There you go.
Unmuted so you can hear me.
Yes.
I'd like to give two testimonials I think would be very, very helpful to people for potential references. And of course, I would be pleasure to do a three-way with anybody to tell my story.
Okay.
The first one is a friend of mine who I've known for 50 plus years, and he's skeptical against alternative medicines because he's had challenges with less than perfect products in the past, so to speak. I'm being polite. And so I said to him, Larry, you need to look at this. He came back from a doctor's appointment and his PSA reading was 15. If you know anything about a PSA reading, that scares the heart of any man. The potential treatments is surgery, which deals with a lot of negative side effects. Probably the primary one is the loss of sex life. And so I told him that we had an opportunity for him to try out a mega dosing program. And I spoke with Chip about it. He spoke with him directly. He went on a mega dosing program, and 4 months later, his PSA had dropped down to 9.5, which he was astounded, as was I. I'll also give you a personal testimony. Since most of you haven't met me, I'm sponsored by Kyle directly also, and I have a kidney transplant. And kidney transplants, the benchmark of kidney transplants, or the need to have kidney transplants, is a reading called creatinine, which is the amount of toxicity in your body. And the kidney transplant was done in 2019. I've been going along at a very good place. So consequently, I appear to most people to be extremely healthy, and I am. I showed Kyle's pictures of me water skiing at 74 years old this past weekend. And so, yes, he agrees that, how'd you do that? So I do that. So, but my reading for creatine was about 1.8 to 1.9, which is about normal for somebody who only has one kidney. You don't receive two kidneys on transplant, you only get one. After 3 months on the product, I dropped my creatine into the 1.6 range, which means the measurable improvement in my toxicity was flat out medically demonstrated. And that's something that we all try to have anecdotal experiences, which we have shared today. Then we also have occasionally the opportunity to definitively show a measurement that would be so unrebuttable, so to speak. It's hard to believe. I'd also like to make a general comment that I was with Rick with Rexall, and I worked very, very intensely in the medical community. In fact, I also worked with Stuart Lunke. We actually produced a book that I still have the cover on of all the cholesterol drops from BIOS Life 2. BIOS Life 2 was created in 1993, and Rick has updated it to BIOS Life 3, in my mind, 2023. It flat out drops cholesterol. It flat out drops blood sugars. It is the most amazing product. To give you an idea of how amazing it is and how strong the medical community is, one of my customers in the 90s was C. Everett Koop. the Surgeon General of the United States. He took the product. And we have a better product than the one that was taken in 1990. So some tidbits from someone who's been around one of the products for 30 years, and also known Rick for 30 years, and also some better personal testimonies for you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Being in Avini, and I haven't been in that long, but being in Avini, I every day am blessed with these kinds of goosebumps. I am telling you, every day you hear more and more stories about how people's lives are really and truly, and some people are really in dire situations and are really and truly turning their lives around with these products. Incredible, really incredible. I want to share something with you. I have an update.
Hold on a second.
I'm so thrilled about it. Everyone knows about my brother, and there are a couple people here that may not know his story, but I got him on Cell Defender. He basically was having symptoms. He was having double vision. He was having ringing in his ears so bad he couldn't hear anything, and he could not chew anything but soft foods because he had lost the strength in his jaw to chew. And I said, Dean, I don't know what this product will do for you, but what it did for me, if it does even half of that, I want you on it. So I sent him a bottle and he took it. And then he wanted another bottle and he took it. And guys, he just shared with me today that he is in a relationship because he gave up everything for 18 months in his life. He was a pro golfer. He was a big, huge pickleball player, and he was very active in his life and dating and all of it. Well, if you can't see, you can't hear, and you can't eat, your life is not your life. And so he, for 18 months, did nothing. And he literally, I saw him and I said, what's going on with you? And he was like an old man. And I am telling you now he is in a committed relationship. They're creating. So he started dating, and they are now creating a cruise to go on. Guys, this has changed his life. Cell Defender. And then he said, Carol, do you have anything for the pain in my knees? Because I've been a jock for 60 years and my knees are killing me. I sent him, guys, the roll-on. He said, Carol, it's working. He said, it doesn't work long enough though. I said, well, then do more. So guys, he's got his life back. And he's 75 and he's a young 75, but he just really went downhill when all of this happened to him. So I can't not share this with people. I just can't. Yeah. So I just wanted to share that with everyone, is that he was started dating, and I told you guys, but now he's in a relationship. That would never have happened without Cell Defender. And without me not sharing it with him. So all of you guys, as far as I'm concerned, are heroes because we are out sharing it everywhere with everyone. We're heroes. I know I'm a hero to my brother. And I love it.
Sometimes it takes a little time, and it took my sister 6 months. I ordered Plus Relief for her because she said that her leg always hurt. She woke up in the middle of the night, and she's stubborn. And so finally, I had it, and I gave it to her, and she went out in the backyard. The dog dug a hole that she didn't see. She said she twisted her ankle. She hopped inside, and she saw the stuff, and it was the roll-on, and she could not walk. She put it on her foot. She said, I put my shoe back on and I could walk, and I didn't trust that I could walk on it because it was too quick that the pain went away. And then that night she had a little more pain. She put it back on there. And the next day she never had an issue. And so now she ordered a whole bunch of other stuff here about a week ago. So she's it's all it took. One one thing that we have of the handful that we have to do something for someone, then everything else goes from there. That if you think that is helping you with that, then how about let's clean your body out and get the metals and the toxins out. Let's do that now. And so now it's she's in it. She's in it for life. So it just took that one thing, and everything we have is so incredibly special.
Yeah. My brother asked me the other day, these products aren't going away, are they? I said no. He was worried he might not get them. I love that. I totally love that. Does anybody else want to share anything? So that's what this call is all about. Anybody? Anything? Chip, we haven't heard from you.
Well, you might be startled to hear I have a couple of observations.
You have what?
A couple of observations.
Go for it.
I guess first of all, it's great to have Susanne join us tonight.
Yeah.
What stature she brings to the group, and I kind of hope she felt like she was treated by being with you guys tonight, because I get to be on a lot of Zooms, and this is like one of my very favorites. Everybody smiles and bobs their head yes, and thumbs up and clap out loud, and so Susanne was well rewarded by the group she was speaking to. I did have one little line that I thought might be useful to everybody, but especially with her presentation, because I believe that we are polluted en masse by riding the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And she gave some examples of where people got pushed closer to the edge or maybe fell over the edge individually. But I believe we're polluted en masse,
Oh,
but
yes.
cleaned up one at a time by Avini. And we don't have another way, a better way. The only way to clean up more people is through network marketing, which is the pipe through which Avini products flow. And so more people is a bigger pipe. So that's the end of that one. And I know that special things are happening because people want to reach goals before conference. And so I'm guessing if it was Marcy that was speaking to you, she'd be asking everybody what your goals are. That's kind of her thing. But I know you've got it in mind, and you're probably maybe a little bit more outgoing than you would be, because you want to do something wonderful and achieve it, this month. But I'm sorry Christine has gone, but you're going to have to pass this on to her, because this is a treasure. Very few people know this in the entire world. This is something about Kyle. You probably noticed that Kyle's been quiet back there. Before any of the musician and drummer stuff, he was working in Death Valley as a mule skinner. And that goes along with the Clydesdale thing, but he had 20 mules in a team instead of just 8 Clydesdales. And he observed that when winter came, all the mules behind the lead pair got turned into glue. The lead pair were kept to lead the next year. Kyle came up with the idea of rotating the pairs so that all of them became leaders. And so it may have looked like he was being quiet tonight, but he was actually using the skills that he learned as a mule skinner, climbing out of Death Valley, hauling the borax. And anyway, that's all I got.
I have a question for Suzanne.
Yes.
Suzanne, you there?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay. It's wonderful to have you here. My name is Novella. So I'm just curious. So which of the products do you use?
I use the Cell Defender, the mushrooms, the fiber. Let me think what else. Those I use every day.
And what's the main and what do you and why do you take the mushrooms?
Well, mushrooms are wonderful as a boost for the immune system. There have been many, many studies done on them and how they support immune function. And of course, they have the little bit of clinoptilolite zeolite with them. So that's a win-win right there.
Okay. And so when you talk to people, like, so you just kind of like, and so so when you were talking and you were talking about, I didn't get a lot of what you were saying because at the beginning, when you were cutting in and out a lot, I don't know if it was like that on everybody's end, but it was like that on my end. And so I wasn't clear about what you do. Like you were going out and you were talking to people, and I know that. So why do people come to you? Like, why were you talking to people about that?
Well, basically, as a coach and a consultant in natural health and holistic nutrition, helping people to take a look at their lifestyle, at what they're doing, their history, because unless we do that, we miss so much as to why we have problems. So it's really, as a teacher.
Did she cut out?
I think we lost. Yeah.
Aww.
She'll be back in a second. Just give her a second. Suzanne, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
I don't know what happened, but
You cut out on us, so you want to finish your sentence there?
yes. So basically, almost 40 years of working with individuals, taking a look at their life and what they've been exposed to, what they've undergone, and it's a real important thing to do for them, because then when they make changes, it's such a game changer. They realize that they have to take that responsibility. And it makes perfect sense. They realize when they start to make these changes and they see how quickly they're able to come up on the ladder, so to speak, and how well they feel. Um, it's so important. You know, the body by design, by divine design, is incredible. And when we start to research that and we start to see all of the various systems and processes, it's so beautiful.
Thank you. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome. Sure.
And I have a question for Chip too. Well, hey, listen, nobody was talking, so
Go for it.
I figured I could jump in here. Hey, Chip, so let me ask you a question. So what happens if, I don't know if you know, I'm sure you do, but so here's what I get. I get people who are taking the product and they, like, listen, I take the product, and when I first started taking the product, it was uh I couldn't see anything, right? And I couldn't, like, and Carol would ask me, every few days, about every 4 days, she'd be like, what's happening? How do you let it, and I'm like, nothing. And so I didn't see anything. However, everybody around me was seeing things, right? Because they were seeing me do things that I hadn't done in a while. And for me, I was just doing them and it was normal, because it was just what I had always done, but I forgot that I had stopped doing them, right? And so what's happening though is that, like, the same thing is happening to my friends. So they're taking a product and they're getting back to normal, and they feel like they're normal. So they feel like, so my question is, if they stop taking the product, are they going to go back to the way they were?
Okay. Oh my goodness. Well, start the
Wow.
clock over.
Wow.
All right. Yeah. So adjusting like that is, and this is my business presentation for the night. adjusting to health changes is a lot like adjusting to money changes. When there's more coming in, everything gets easier and you don't really notice that it's you can just do what you want to. But start taking health away, start taking money away. That's a lot tougher adjustment to make. You resist it if everything's coming back. And typically, people in their lives that you run into every day are in some sort of a gradual downward spiral. And they're wondering what's going to go wrong next that they have to put up with the rest of their life. When they get a hold of Avini, things start going right and they're afraid to believe it. It's like, okay, you're almost scared to think, oh my gosh, this thing is reversed. But there finally comes a point when you realize that one more thing has gone right. And oh my goodness, maybe I'm in some sort of an upward spiral. Maybe now I'm beginning to wonder what the next thing that's going to go right is. And that's a lot of it. And sometimes it's quite gentle. Sometimes it's very dramatic. If someone really challenges me and nothing's happening to me, I still hurt, or something like that, and I'm it comes into my court that I need to make difference for them in a matter of minutes or 24 hours, and I'll accept that, and I'll say, okay, let's just say that we want to make a dramatic difference in you in the next few minutes. I would like you to go out and do something that's very difficult for you, whatever puts you on the red line, whether it's your sport, your activity, the toughest part of your day,
Nice.
dealing with the kids, whatever it is. And right before you do it, swallow one of the Avini Plus energies.
Ah.
I use that for my water skiers before they go out on the water. And they now know, they come and they open up the cooler, reach down in there, and they take it. They don't even ask me anymore, because they know they're going to perform better. Your mental acuity and agility increase within minutes, and it lasts for hours. So if you have to have a big difference, but you may not even notice that if you aren't challenging yourself. So you need something where it's something that pushes you a little bit.
Yeah.
The other thing, if I'm required, maybe someone hurts and they say, I still hurt. I'll say, okay, fair enough. Let's just make a goal to have you make a difference, to feel better by tomorrow morning, to sleep great tonight and feel better by tomorrow morning. And what I'll ask them to do is to use the Avini Plus Relief and use the gel or the roll-on and put it on anything that they think might be a reflexology point. So the bottoms of your feet, the tops of your feet, your navel, the small of your back, up the carotid, vascular neural bundle going up sides of the neck. Your entire body's laid out upside down on your ears and your earlobes. Rub it on there, on your temples. Just get it all over, just a shotgun approach to reflexology. So you're going to do that, and then you're going to sit on the side of the bed and take 5 sprays of the Oral Plus Relief, lay over and go to sleep. And the goal is that by tomorrow morning, you're going to feel dramatically different as far as the discomfort. Repeat that when you wake up, and you gradually need to do less and less. But if the challenge is, I need to feel something dramatic in a very short time, I'll accept that challenge. At the very least, you got to keep going. Maybe just going on that one more night gave the chance for everything to work. But and it really is this is a big word, hygiene. This is as though you got a toothbrush and never had one before. When do you benefit? The first time you do it. I always tell people the benefits begin immediately. When you take the product, the very next time you pee, you're going to be peeing poison. And they continue indefinitely as long as you keep doing it. As a matter of fact, it is simply hygiene. Remember the Black Plague, when so many people died, and if you had a sweepable floor instead of a dirt floor, or a better source of water, your chances of surviving were so much better. When toothbrushes and dental care came along, the dentists became the most famous people in hygiene because they had such great success with people having better dental results. Avini is nothing more than hygiene, but hygiene is everything. And when should you quit? On the same day you quit brushing your teeth, for the same reason. You're doing nothing more than taking a shower, only now you can take a shower on the inside, washing away things you could not get at before. So those are some little turns of phrases that you may use, but it is pretty common. And oftentimes, Novella, maybe one of the most important things I should tell you with that question is, oftentimes that person is really asking you to reassure them.
Yeah.
Let me reassure you, you're doing the right things. You are getting better. It's worth working through it to get to the benefits because they are enormous. Every single metabolic function, every single tissue that you're made of, the bones you're hanging from, the muscles that move you, the guts that make your power, the brain you're thinking with, and the eyes you're looking out of, they're all going to be better when they're running clean. And nothing deep cleans you like Avini. So you see these little phrases, so they're in little files. And if I want to pull out a little file like that, and you start having those on hand. So I hope that maybe some of those you thought,
Well,
oh, I
here's the
could use
thing.
that.
That is not a problem with me, because if it's something that I believe in, I'll come up with something probably even better than that. Okay. But here's the thing. For me, like, the main thing I got was I feel good. Okay. Like, I feel good in my body. And like Carol, her thing is, she's like, oh, I feel so much energy, and I got so much energy. And it's not so much as energy for me. It's like, I feel like vitality. I feel like vital, like good, like that. And it's nothing better than that for me, because
So the
I,
way you said that, I don't care what else you say, the way you said, I feel good. The people you talk to are going to remember that, just like Les Brown.
oh,
When he
absolutely.
speaks, I don't know if anybody ever remembers anything except when he says, I was hungry. And when you say, I felt good, it was equivalent to Les Brown saying, I was hungry, I had to do it. And the way you said that, Novella, and I'm bought into the deal. I think the way you do it is powerful and perfect.
And and the thing is that so there's what's for me, and I'm clear that as long as this product is going to be around, I'm going to be taking it. And if it disappears, I'm going to find something like it. Okay.
I had a guy
I
one
mean,
time, and he
that's,
bought up all he could afford because he was afraid the company was going to go bankrupt. And at the time, we were just taking a huge, very first run with Rick, and I thought that ain't ever going to happen. And then, yeah, oh well. But at this point, I feel very, very stable and confident. I really, really love what we have here as a company and an opportunity. And the product survived it all. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
The product survived through all the tests. There is no better test.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, sometimes, you come into these rooms and people are saying all of this stuff, and it can sound like, like, yeah, right, like that, right? I am somebody that I'm clear that if I find something and I feel something, I have a lot of integrity about it. And if it's something that I think is wrong about it, I'm going to say something about it. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it, and I'm not in it for anything other than my good health and the health for everybody else around, right?
So
And
that
if there's
approach,
something else that occurs, it's going to be organic, and I'm not leaving nothing on the table now. If there's something else that I get from, that's good. But the main thing, though, that got me involved with Carol is the fact that I can feel good in my body. I'm not going to worry about that, somebody's going to be taking care of me, and somebody's got to be, like, I'm going to be in some nursing home someplace, and I'm not going to be able to, have my brain and all of the rest of that. So this is an awesome product for me inside of that regard. And see, I have a lot of people around me that's like me. So I know who I am, and I want to be able to tell them things that's clear, that they understand, and not just somebody saying, oh, it's good. I want to be able to see. And I like that you're here so that I can ask you those kinds of questions. And I love that Susanne is here so that, when I have questions like that, I can do that. So I really do appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
just real quickly, Novella, I predict that you'll grow much faster than most of us, because this is the essence of Novella. I feel good. You want to feel good too? For me, it's way slow. You know, I get stuck with all the analysis paralysis stuff. Everybody knows that about me, but you just need to know somebody knows, that stuff. But
Yeah.
the growth is going to come from people like Novella that reach out into the people and say, I feel good. You want to feel good with me? And boy, how fast does that grow?
Yeah.
And then Kyle says, get your money back in 2 days, then you've got this thing that grows. And if you ever want to slow down, just come to the back of the group and hang out with me a little bit. We'll talk biochemistry. It's much faster to do it like Novella does, I promise you.
I love it. I totally love it. Okay, so guys, Bill wants to share something. He has some news to share. Go for it, Bill.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for your sharing, everybody. I just got my blood work back today, and I just checked it a moment ago. The blood draw was 2 days ago. And I've never had in my whole life, my cholesterol is 175. I've never had that before in my life. And the A1C is down to 5.8, which is very good. So I'm happy.
All right.
Wow.
So that's world-class numbers. It is predictable and dependable. If the rest of you go get yours checked, you're going to have great numbers as well. If pretty much everybody in Avini, when they go get blood work done, it's awesome. And so Bill's just, and that 5.8, that's awesome. I mean, that's like a world-class number.
Yeah.
You're starting to get sort of kind of safe when you get down below 7, and you start getting into the 5s. That's like showing off. You go to isn't it a lot more fun to go to the doctor when you're showing off than when your gut felt scared to death?
Yeah, I see him next Tuesday, and I'm going to bring up the topic of Cell Defender and Nano Silver, and it was at 6.0, now it's 5.8. The other numbers are good. The LDL is a little high, but all the other numbers are in a very good range.
So here's a thought, and this is big. This is the big ticket item of Avini. And I don't think it hurts to ask your doc if you've got that kind of numbers straight out. Is there any chance you'd like to have that kind of results for all your patients?
Yeah.
I think I know what happened. I know how I got this. Is there a chance that he may tell you keep doing what you've been doing, but it's a much greater jump for a doctor to say, you know what, Bill, you're one of the best changes, one of the best patients I've ever had from your situation.
Wow.
I, as a practitioner, would like to have all my patients have your result.
Yeah, I've never had a cholesterol at 175. It's normally, like 200, maybe 205, above the borderline, but now it's 175. I can't remember when I had 175 for my cholesterol.
Wow.
So he's looking at your numbers, and I think if you wish, it's up to you to say these kind of things, but is there any chance? I mean, you see what happened to me. Is there a chance in the world you'd like to have that kind of result for all your patients?
Sure.
I love that question.
Pretty big question. Pretty big question. So why not ask it straight out? I mean, what's he going to say?
Yeah.
No, I'm satisfied. I'm making a career out of losing. They die gradually. I mean, what? I apologize. I'm going to go back to mute here.
No, that's okay, Chip. I will ask that question.
Absolutely.
Don't you want all your other patients to have this?
Yeah. I love it. I totally love it. Kyle, you have been too quiet. Come join us and share anything you want to share before we end our call, but we'd really like to hear from you.
It's funny, and Leave it to Chip to truthfully figure it out. You know, I sit here and I keep my mouth shut the whole time because I'm gosh, I'm going to go off on a tangent and I already know it. I'm going to talk a lot and that's okay.
Okay.
Whatever. I, this is what I've always dreamed of having when I built a team, was a team that just was flourishing and running their calls and promoting each other rather than being the guy in front. And I, for the last 13 years, I've been the guy in the front, and I love it makes me so proud. Like I can't it's a feeling that it just brings me so much joy to hear what's happening because of this movement, of course, and just to see the team that you guys are building and running and just I love it. And you know, something I will share with you guys, because this is something that I've been wanting for a long time, right? It's just this moment. And it's funny that Chip recognized it and he said it. And it's even funnier because I used to have 2 donkeys. Before I moved back to Florida, I did have 2 donkeys, and we had the 20 mule team. There's this big 20 mule team thing where I lived. And so, Chip, that was hilarious. And you just nailed that on the spot. Side subject. But anyway, what I was going to say is today I had kind of a unique experience, and it even ties into what I just said about this is something that I have attracted. It's something that's been part of my why, and having a team that was doing this, etc. But I reached out today to a few people within the organization, random people, just completely random, and there's a reason I'm doing this, and it's part of some of the stuff that's coming from the company that I hope all of you end up in Dallas, because Dallas is going to be amazing. And I mean that. This is not one of those gimmicky things where, you know, a company's trying to get you to the event so the company can make money. I promise you the company doesn't make money here. The idea of the event is it's going to change your whole business, and I'm not kidding. But you still get there first and foremost. But I reached out to people at random today, and I still have more to reach out to. And feel free. I'm gonna go ahead and say this. Feel free to send me this. But I asked people. I said, "What is your why? Like, why are you here? Why are you doing this?" And it doesn't matter what the answer is. It literally doesn't matter what the answer is. Why? What is your why? What is your driving force? What makes you move forward with sharing Avini and building a business? And why are you part of this community? Like, why? What is your why, right? If you've been around the network marketing industry at all, you know your why is a powerful thing. People say, you know, your why should make you cry. Mine will. Some people say your why is you know, what do you want right now? What excites you now? And there's no right or wrong answer. But here's where I'm going with this, is that the 3 people that have responded to me so far, I found it very interesting, and it put the biggest smile on my face that their number 1 factor in their why was because they wanted to help people. They wanted to help people, and they got into detail, not a financial thing, it was a physical thing, because they've seen miracles with our products. And I will tell you that this is the first time in 13 years I've heard people legitimately tell me they wanted to help people get healthy. And I think that's one of the coolest things, is that we have a company that has products that truthfully stand the test of time, like Chip just said. I mean, through all the stuff that Rick has been through, the product made it. The product made it. Everything else failed, but the product just kept going because it's real. And, you know, that warmed a very special place in my heart, that when people said, I just want to help people, I just want them to see what I see, to experience what I've experienced. And ultimately, you know, our job is, and I love that we're taking this stance as a company, is prioritizing prevention. You know, we have a tendency to run the people that are sick, to run the people that have problems, but what about the people that aren't? They're still exposed, and one day it's going to catch up to them. We got to prioritize preventing those problems. And so for people to say, I just want to help people, I want to help people just stay healthy, and it tells me the path that we're on. Again, I go off on this and just say how grateful I am that we have Avini and where we're going to be. And this is home. This is 10, 15, 20, 30 years from now. This is that company. And to know that and to feel that, and it came through today with more confirmation, just through a few messages of people saying, I just want to help people. I go, man, we are doing this right. And so sitting here watching you guys help people and listening to the stories of just what is happening, And you know, you guys probably saw me looking down, and I had a bunch of messages coming in from a very, very good friend of mine that actually called me the other day, and I'm not going to mention her name or anything. And she said, all right, I've held off long enough. I've got something going on, and I'm embarrassed to even say this, but I have an amoeba living inside of me. And for the last 6 months, I have tried everything. I'm spending thousands of dollars on supplements, and I'm buying this and I'm buying that, and this amoeba will not go away. And she goes, I know what I need. And I said, yes, you do. and so she's excited because she just got home and she got all of the products that she orders, and she's like, give me the regimen. And I'm like, well, Marcy knows for starters. See that bottle of silver? You need to drink an ounce right now. And just kind of walking her through the process. And so that's what I kept going to. But again, we're just helping people, and helping people can bless so many people in so many ways. And guys, I'm grateful that you're here. And Joe, Mr. Big Gulp, was on the call with us tonight, which makes me super excited. And just everybody. So guys, get to Dallas. As always, if you need me, please reach out, obviously, anytime. And feel free to send me those whys. If you guys have a why, just shoot me a quick text message. If you don't have my number, get it. I promise anybody can give it to you. Just shoot me a why, like a quick little paragraph of why you're here, why you're doing what you're doing, what drives you, what motivates you to do this, why do you want to do this, why did you get started? So anyway, Carol, back to you. Love you guys. Thank you, Chip, as always. Thank you for being here. Everybody.
Thank you,
Appreciate
everyone. Okay, well, it's 8:37. If anybody wants to share anything before we end, please do right now. Raise your hand if you want to share anything. But Christine, we missed you. We're sorry you couldn't make it back on here with us. But what an amazing call once again. I look forward to this call every week. I look forward to this call.
Best call of the week.
I want to share one more thing with you, and that is every guest I've invited is in my business now. Every guest I've invited to this call, I have 100%. So guys, use this call, bring your guests, let us do the heavy lifting, and let us share, and let them really and truly embrace us as a community of people, because we are a pretty amazing group of people. We absolutely are. And I'm just so grateful and thankful for this call, for Chip, for Kyle, for Ed, for Christine, all of you guys. I'm grateful for all of you. And I love hearing, I can't get enough of what is happening in your lives with these products. So thank you. Please invite your friends next week. Next Thursday, we do this call every week. Okay.
Thank
Carol,
you.
Carol, one second before you go.
Yes.
Bye.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Before you go,
Alan, go ahead.
my friend Clarence Thomas is on here tonight. Clarence, I thank you for being here and joining us.
Hi, Clarence.
Hi, Clarence.
We do this every Thursday night, 7:30.
Every Thursday night, 7:30, we are on this call, and we have different guest speakers all the time. Suzanne, thank you for being a guest speaker tonight.
Oh, thank you.
You're amazing and awesome, and you shared some amazing things with us. And I love our guest speakers. I always go away going, whoa, I learned so much on this call. I hope you all do too. Yes, Alan.
One more thing.
Yes.
Kyle and Chip Littlejohn and the others who have commented, what we're doing, we're really putting the spread on the bread so we can feed the masses. That's what's happening right here on Thursday nights,
right,
folks. Thank you.
The spread on the bread. Okay.
Bread on the bread.
So we can feed the masses. I like that, Alan. I'm stealing it.
Well, here's another one. And Chip Littlejohn is really, really good at this, as is Kyle. But they put the hay down where the goats can get into it. And that's what's happening here on Thursday evenings.
That's good.
I love it. Thank you, everyone. Guys, it is recorded, and it will go up into the YouTube, and I'll send it to Christine, and she'll send it out to everyone. Okay. All right. Good night, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.